What's up? It's your boy Topher, and I am with El Gringo from El Gringo and the Beaner, and currently we are in 0 Dark 30 status. That's why it's kind of dark down here in the basement. But we're the only two motherfuckers that decided to show up today.
Yep.
I can't speak for the Beaner. I can't speak for Humps a lot. But yeah, we're the only two fuckers here.
They're weak.
They're very weak. Very weak.
They're like, yeah, let's do this. I'm down. I can do whatever.
Some scared bitches.
I'm not even married. You're married. Ed, you're married. You're such a puss. You can't do nothing. Who's been gone all day? Went to Guitar Center, talked to the guru. Look, we're doing this shit right now. They ain't even here.
That's right.
Can't even say nothing.
So to the other two boneheads that decided not to show up, or might even come late, or maybe not at all, suck it, bitches. But there's an elephant in the room, so to say.
And it's not us.
And it's not us. But something we obviously have to deal with. And we were hoping to have others in on this discussion, but obviously they're not going to make it. So we're just going to go ahead and discuss said elephant in the room. We're not going to name names. We're not going to put things out there. We're just going to state our feelings on this certain subject. But before we do, I just want to say that to whoever this may concern, not our fault. Not our fault. That's all I got to say. There's certain things that happen that you yourself are responsible for. Your actions are one of them. And the words that come past those actions are the other part. And if you're not responsible enough in order to handle either one of those, then you deal with this.
Bang! Fuck, I'm dead!
That's right. You go down.
Yeah, that's part one.
That's part one.
Yeah. You know, who knew a movie could say so much?
Oh, yeah.
With so little, few words.
That's from The Crow. If you didn't know, you can rent it. It's on DVD. It's pretty good.
Classic.
Pretty good. Pretty bad. Badass. Brandon died making it. But it's one of the best movies ever.
Some bullshit.
It was good. Anyways, all I gotta say is there comes a point in time where somebody speaks enough and they say enough shit that you can smell the shit on their breath. It's a nutty stench, to be honest. It smells a lot like bullshit all the time. And it comes to a point where you just know exactly where that guy's headed. Now, without divulging my age, or the gringo's age, we're old as dirt. When it comes to the people that we know and we hang around with, we're the older crowd. And with that comes responsibility. And knowing what needs to be done and said and how to go about it. You know, I could say that I'm going to do something all fucking day, or I could say that I've done it all fucking day. But unless I show that I can actually do it or that I've done it, it doesn't mean dick. It really doesn't. And there's certain people in this world that I personally just can't be around anymore. I mean, it's you tell me that, you know, you did this or you did that, fine. I just shake my head, shrug it off, because at that point, I don't even want to hear you breathe. I really don't. You lie to my face and you lie to me, bold face, about stupid fucking shit. I got no more room in my life for you. I just really don't. What are your feelings, Gringo?
I agree, but my camera's whacked out. You get to look straight into it with your eyes and the presence you just gave. I'm kind of look like I'm retarded staring in weird areas. But I do have input. I just fully agree. You know, integrity and morals are hard to find these days. And that's why I have so many few people in the crowd that I hang out with. Because if you have like a wife, 2 kids, that's where you do most of your time. But if you got good dudes like Topher and a couple other cats, you know what they're about even before you even really get into it too far. Like, I don't even know the cat that long, but yet we actually kind of have a code of ethics between each other. It's unspoken. It's unwritten. Kind of like I have a Harley. I ride with a few guys, and there's a lot of other guys that want me to ride with them, and I won't, based on either how they are or if they wouldn't stop to pull over to help someone that needed it. So that's kind of what it's about. It's how you carry yourself and how you treat others. And a lot of times, I don't know, a lot of times, certain individuals want to impress each other with a bunch of stuff or what they buy, what they own, what they can show. And when it comes down to it, it's not about any of that. It's about someone, if they say, like he said, they're going to do something and you follow through with it with your bud or your friend or your family, they're there for you as well. And it doesn't have to be denominational. It's more or less could be like a trade. Like, hey, I'll help you with your garage when spring comes and you'll do this for me and we'll help each other out. That's it. And a lot of people forget about that common thing. And that's why people just like to hide in their homes, be hermits, and shit never gets done. And then you wonder why people sit in the dark and bitch instead of doing something about it. A lot of people might think this little thing we're going to do here has, they haven't seen too much into it yet. It's only like the second time, but we do have an agenda, believe it or not. Is it going to be funny? We hope so. Is it going to be serious at times? Damn right. Are we going to talk about some heavy subjects down the road? Yeah. Do we have opinions about that shit? Yeah. And we're not afraid to say it either. So that's what's cool about it. I got this dude in here, not to be funny or to joke about this part, but I think between the two of us, we got a lot of balls. So, and when we say something, we'll back it up. Because honestly, I don't really care what people think about me. Like I said, with our age comes that point too. People can say whatever the hell they want about me. I really don't care at all. I'm not out to impress anybody. I'm not going to wear some fucking Gucci watch, some Abercrombie fucking shirt, some Nike tennis shoes. Not at all. I don't care. So if you don't like me for what I am or this shit, then fucking hit disconnect and peace out.
You guys that follow the Hater Nation and follow me and everything that we've done, you know how we are. We don't give a shit about any haters. Haters actually fuel us. They give us drive. They give us the fuel to want to do things that people want to see from us. Fuck the haters. Fuck them and their stupid fucking asses. Whatever they say, they can go to hell. We love hate mail. I love hate mail. I love people trolling
That's
me
the best
whenever I'm
kind of
playing.
mail.
Oh, dude. I love playing Call of Duty when I got kids telling me that I'm so fucking terrible when I'm running with nothing but a knife. You've got a gun with 50 fucking bullets. How can you not kill me? I dodged that shit and I stabbed you once and you bitch and complain at me, telling me I suck. You should have hit me with at least a fucking bullet by that time. I mean,
They had a clip, right?
dude, they had like multiple
A 30
clips.
round clip. Those aren't even legal, man. Come on.
And I'm running around the game like I'm fucking Michael Myers and shit, just fucking running around. Oh, hey, stab, stab, stab. I love that shit. That's why I love playing video games. And now that we're getting to do the podcast, it's like shitting on people in real life.
Hopefully, if anything, hopefully we encourage a bunch of other kids that are way younger than us and people that are even our age or older to get into some sort of movement like this and do something. Start putting up there. People don't like what they don't understand. And a lot of people that, like I said, we get marginalized all the time because our generation was the X generation or whatever. They didn't get out, they didn't vote, or we don't have the mentality to make a decision for ourselves. That's not true. But if more of us do something like this, it means and carries a whole lot more weight. No matter what it is, just get up and do it. Just go do something. The freedom that we can have through YouTube, the channel, our Facebook, our Twitter, which you guys are all going to be a part of, only fuels more of a freedom of thought that you can't get anywhere else because the news is bought, paid for, radio is bought and paid for. This is the only free reigning media avenue we all have to say and do whatever the hell you want, which is awesome. And I suggest you should do it before they try to take that away as well. Get on board.
On that note about like being creative and freedom and expressing oneself, there's been this thing lately, like Michael Moore, Seth Rogen, and I think even Bill Maher were talking about that new movie, The Sniper.
American Sniper.
Yeah, and totally talking about how it shows Chris Pike as just a really bad dude, and that's not at all true. Anybody that has gone overseas and fought for this country, whether it be good or bad, they deserve a little bit of respect. Because your fucking stupid ass wiping the goddamn Dorito stains off of your couch as you're sitting at fucking home feeding your fat fucking face. You're not over in Iraq having to deal with IEDs. Kids walking around with dynamite and shit trying to blow people up. You don't deal with that. All American Sniper is one man's story based upon the book that he wrote. And Clint Eastwood took that. And he wanted to show how far American soldiers have to deal with all the shit that they have to find over there. They're not over in the United States like we are in the great city of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the anus of Kalamazoo, giving you guys this footage right now. hanging out, getting to go to Guitar Center and talk to the fucking audio guru so we can get all the shit that we need in order to bring you guys some awesome shit.
This dude was tech.
Dude, telling you, he didn't do that. He was over in Iraq fighting for everybody. And this is his story.
It's a great movie.
Who the fuck are you guys to try and say that it made him look like some kind of fucking killer or something? That's what they're made to fucking do. Kill shit. In order to protect people's fucking lives. My family's in the military. I know Ed's probably got family and friends that have been in the military.
Couple.
Yeah. So who in the hell are you guys sitting on your pedestal because you got some fame and shit, trying to say that this makes people look bad?
One was in Desert Storm, one was in Iraq, and one was in Vietnam.
Yep. My uncle was in Vietnam in the Navy. My cousin, both of my cousins, one was in the Navy and one was in Afghanistan in the Army. So, you know, we've got a lot of military heritage in our family, you know, and I owe my freedom and everything to those guys, and they know it.
You know, and that's what he's saying is true, too, because I had one friend I went to high school with. He went in Desert Storm, and he came out okay, but he wrote me a lot with some challenges and some pretty heavy, dark stuff. And then he's out and okay now, got a family. The other dude went to Iraq and said he had a buddy got blown up right in front of him, and he came back, and I actually picked him up. We hung out for the day, me and my wife, and he had an extremely difficult time that whole day, just dealing with going to public places to eat, and we were going to help him get a guitar. He actually went off on the both of us for no reason at all. So I took it with a grain of salt, and we dropped him off at his house, and I just asked him, you know, he was very violent with me. I had to get him out of the car and told him, you know, chill out. My old lady was with me. He lost his cool. I kind of understand why. He later on apologized, but he was trying to deal with being back in a place where he was free to ride and go wherever he wanted, eat what he wanted. But his problem during the lunch was he couldn't even bother to eat the shit because of how they feed him over there on those fucking MRIs or whatever they are.
MREs, yeah.
The MREs, yeah. He's so used to being told where to go, when, how, what, when, and why, and worried about what kind of shit's coming in at his head. He was so stressed out, man. It was hard to watch. So
think about it this way. Over here, you're able to go to the fucking grocery store. You're able to go get CDs. You're able to go get a video game. You're able to go wherever the hell you want, right? You take that same person, put them through 6 months of fucking hell in order to rebuild them into what they need to be to survive the shithole that they're going to get thrown into. Then they get into the shithole that they get thrown into, and every time that they come up to an intersection, they see a pile of rocks or some garbage sitting on the side of the road. They're worried about the minute that they go by there, they're going to blow up. They're worried about if there's somebody with a sniper rifle waiting for them to come around a corner. And that's their life, their livelihood, the way that they have to be in order to survive over there. Make them do 2 or 3 tours of that shit, and then bring them back into society and expect them just to meld back in. You don't do that. That's psychological conditioning in order to get them back into society like that. That's what this movie was supposed to represent, and people just didn't understand that. You got to understand, you can't take somebody and expect them to just change on a dime from an environment that they've been in to a whole different aspect of a different environment. It doesn't work that way. And that's why a lot of these troops that have seen heavy combat have a lot of issues. And it's not their fault. It's nothing that they did. They spent their lives, their time and their livelihood away from their families in order to keep us safe. People may argue, well, America's not under attack. No, but the motherfuckers that would be attacking America, those are the ones who are fighting against overseas in order to help others out. And in order to be a true human being on this planet, and this is the most lacking thing that I've seen in humanity nowadays, is the aspect of wanting to actually give a shit about people, even if they're not yourselves or your friends or your family. Giving a homeless man $5 so he can get something to fucking eat. You know, helping a lady out down the steps. Getting her mail if she's elderly and she doesn't feel well. Like, these are things people don't fucking do anymore, man. Back in my day, you could walk out your house and leave your door unlocked and not worry about it. Today's society, you have to worry about your shit because that's just the way things are. That's the one lacking aspect of some people nowadays, honestly, is the ability to help people out. That's why I like working where I'm working. I like working with Ed. we help people out on the daily, and it's great.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I can't. I'm not gonna say where I work because
Yeah, we
you
can't
know.
do that.
But I will tell you a story. I had a family come in and they had children, husband, wife, and it was right around Christmas time. And I saw the family. They said one of the individual children were actually abused, hurt pretty bad, and they just got here, so they didn't have a lot of finances. So I was able to help them with some needs that they had, and I didn't have them put any money towards anything. I just took care of it, and unfortunately, they haven't bothered to call me in considerable amount of time, and that's how that went. There was another guy that I knew as well. He came by and he told me he'd give me a spray gun nozzle as like to hold towards the $20 you needed in gas. I'm like, no man, I trust you. It's $20. I said I did get another issue with an individual that owes over, a couple $1,000, and I still turned the other cheek, loaned them the 20 because if my wife needed gas and my kids are out there, and it's a winter time, I'd hope somebody would help her out. So nowadays, most people don't do it. I did it, and did I see $20? No. But I called the guy a while ago, and he says he's in Kalamazoo, and when I find him here and we meet up, he had it for me. Surprised me, but I called him and didn't ask him for the 20. I wanted to see what he'd do. He didn't remember me, and he called me 3 days later and said, "Oh yeah, I can take care of you with that."
Isn't it called like Paying It Forward?
Yeah,
Something like that?
and
Yeah, that was
that's
based off
kind
of
of
a movie.
it's a good movie,
Yeah.
but I mean I do that as many times as I can, just because there's so many people that don't, and I don't know why. Like and a lot of people look down on it like it's a weakness to do that for people, but if you have the means to do it at the time, you should. And another part of the reason why is, and then I'll just get off the subject so we can get to something else. But one time I didn't have a job, or I lost my job. We had no heat, no electric, and my wife and I both got sick, really bad. And we went to a food pantry, and they said we don't fit the criteria. Now, this is going to sound bad, but if anybody who knows me, I don't judge anybody, whether it's height, weight, color, whatever. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not that way. I don't see people in that fashion either. But she said we don't fit the criteria. And what that criteria was is we didn't have children at the time, we weren't a minority, and we weren't poor enough. So I told the lady, I said, well, I'll tell you what, she made my wife cry because why doesn't she have a job? And we have other personal reasons why she's unable to work, And I told the lady, look, I'll make this simple for you. I've paid taxes since I was 16 years old. I worked since then. All I need you to do is so you can go home and put your head on your pillow at night is tell me either you're going to help us, which is a yes, or a no. And I don't really care which one you give now because you're going to have to deal with that. So she finally shut up and helped us out. And we went to one other place. They gave us gas cards so I could get somewhere. After that, I landed 2 jobs. I worked 2 jobs, never saw them for quite a while, the family, and I made less than I do now working 2 jobs. And no benefits, no coverage. That's the way we are nowadays. Work twice as hard for nothing. No savings, no retirement, no chance for like what my dad or his brothers grew up with, retiring, and he's not. He's unemployed right now too. But the lady at the other church helped us out, gave us a lot of food. And she said the same thing, though. We didn't really qualify. She did it anyway. So when I got back on my feet, we went back there and I paid it back to the lady. And I said, look, since we didn't fit the criteria and there's more like us, most people don't get that help. Here's $100. I want it to go towards the next people that don't fit your criteria because there are others that need it. So I just think, that's what most people should try to do. Something. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't even have to
Yeah.
be money. Like we did a Toys for Tots drive, and I bought, I don't know, 5 toys from the dollar store, so did the rest of everybody I knew, and we threw them in there. Just to make a difference a little bit can go a long ways.
People don't understand the impact that they have on people. You know, the impression that you leave is the only thing that's ever going to last from you with any individual. If you make the right impression on somebody, you're going to add value to their life. And nowadays, people just don't get that. People are too quick to be jumping at what they want for them. It's all about them, 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 versus how can I help out other people? How can I help the masses understand things that they don't understand.
That's because it takes time to do that.
It does.
And you got to look at yourself first to be able to do that for somebody else,
That's
which is harder than being another guy.
Exactly. In order to help anybody out, first you have to understand yourself. You have to understand your own flaws, things that you need to fix. And you got to get over your own bullshit. And the person that we were talking about can't seem to get over their own bullshit. Until you can get over your own bullshit, I honestly think that you're not even a fucking adult. I mean, you can't be. You're not responsible enough to handle your own affairs if you can't get over your own fucking bullshit in order to do so. You know, and there's people that we deal with on a daily basis that can't get over their own fucking bullshit.
That's true.
They just can't.
I think the only other weird thing that you brought up, though, it's strange too, is everybody always says that the more you give, the more will always come back to you. Everybody says that. The strange part about it is I can count, maybe to other people that's true, but for myself, it sounds strange. That's never really happened, and I have never asked for it to. I don't expect it ever to, but I've never seen that happen, where you give so much and it turns around, and I don't give or help to do that. But I just have never seen it happen, and everybody says that. Yeah. I don't care if it ever comes true or not. I just still do it.
See, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, he did it without wanting anything back in return. You can't give and want to help somebody out and expect, oh, well, now that I did this for you, I should be getting something back in return. It doesn't work that way. It's all about karma. It's all about it will happen in its own time when it's meant to happen. So you can't go give some guy $5 and expect in 2 days later for you to have $5 given back to you. It doesn't work like that, because the more you expect it, the more it's not going to come true. So that's all I really got on the whole human bullshit thing. I mean...
Yeah, you know who you are. Hopefully made you feel bad.
Fuck nugget.
Just kidding.
Fuck you. I'm not kidding. Fuck you.
Oh.
Oh, no, maybe I am kidding a little bit. All right. Second part of the podcast is actually going to be El Gringo's Riff of the Day. So, Gringo, you shall have your Riff of the Day, sir. Go right ahead.
All right, people. So, what I was going to do on this little bit right here is talk to you about some of my favorite metal and rock albums from last year. That way we get a little caught up, and we'll start out heading into 2015 with the new releases and what's coming up. Like I said, no particular order, because I didn't really put them in any order, but Chevelle has got a great new album out called La Gargola, and it's awesome. There are so many hits on that record. The previous records too, like Hats Off to the Bull. I think there's another one called Letters or something, Letters from a Criminal or something like that. Yeah, and then there's one called Jars. Some of those hits are just so sick, man. The riffs are really good. Most of them are in drop D, and they're just real heavy, really good riffs. And him being a vocalist is real solid. I like it because you can actually hear him enunciate, and his phrasing's really good. So it's not like some of the other records where the dude's like a screamo. I mean, that stuff, I kind of don't like that kind of material where you don't ever understand what the guy's saying. There's no technical ability to it at all. You know, it's just raw vocal screaming. But anyway, that's one of my top picks right there. I don't have World on Fire, the new Slash album, where he picked up the singer from another band. I don't remember which one. Miles Kennedy.
That motherfucker's got a voice, man. Miles Kennedy is a shit.
Well, where did he pick him up from again?
He was part of Alter Bridge. So you had Creed, and then
Creed and Alter
Scott got kicked to the wayside, and they started Alter Bridge with Miles Kennedy.
Yeah, that World on Fire is a good album too, though. I don't own it, but I do like it. Hell Yeah, of course. Blood for Blood, really killer album where they scammed up the Mudvayne singer. The last two albums really hit me, and I just blew those out of my speaker system. I played them, and I thought those were awesome. So that's another one of my favorites. Royal Blood, that's another really great record that came out that people should check out if they haven't heard it. What do you think about that? Did you check that out?
Royal Blood. I'm trying to remember the name of the song, but I actually watched them play it live on a radio station, and I had heard that it was like two guys.
Yeah, I think it is just two guys.
And I couldn't believe it. It was literally only two guys. The guy had a viola bass, and somehow he had the strings arranged where it was like mid bass to low guitar, like high bass to low guitar. It was perfect. And the way he's got his hammer-ons on the song, I think it's Figure It Out is the name of the song. But yeah, that band is awesome, and they're from England. Any group of guys that's gonna be creative enough to only do two pieces and make music like that is really good to. That's really good for the whole music industry too, because it's throwing new vibe into that culture. You know what I mean? Nobody else is doing that.
No, the only other person I know that did anything like it was Trent Reznor, who wrote all the music, and then he picked up the
Yeah.
touring band when he was done with it. Now he does something with another dude named Atticus Ross. They almost won I think it was what is it, Globe Award for the soundtrack to, what's that, Gone Girl? They did
Gone
that
Girl.
soundtrack.
He did Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Really? I'm going to have to
Yep.
watch that movie now.
Really
I've been
awesome.
wanting to watch that.
And then Charlie Clouser used to be the bass player for Nine Inch Nails too. Now we're kind of going off, but I told you I'll riff on it. I know it. He did the soundtrack with Kevin Bacon in a movie where his family actually got attacked by some sick individuals, man. John Goodman was the bad guy in it.
Is it Red State?
No, that's a
Or-
Kevin Smith movie
That's a Kevin Smith.
that he did, which is most people don't know about either. But that was like a drama where they found a chick online, and it was like a churchish occult type deal. And the kids came to the trailer and thought they were gonna make out with a lady, and they took the kids hostage, man, into a church, and it was just
Oh, wow.
picking up kids that were looking to do sins, you know, and they were gonna pay Red State. So
Red
that's
State,
what that
yeah.
was about. But I don't know. Kevin Bacon's in the movie. If we IMDb'd it, you'd find it, and it's a good movie too. Charlie Clouser did the soundtrack of that. I just think the two of those guys that do soundtracks are awesome because they're really good at making the music fit the scene, and their knowledge of their instruments are sick. Like I can't stand watching a movie where it's so intense, and then they do the soundtrack or the score or whatever they picked, and then they destroy the whole thing. It's over.
Oh, I hate
Like
that.
the worst part about the last season of Sons of Anarchy, in the beginning ones they had Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and they actually paid for good music. At the end of this damn thing, they had some of the shittiest music I'd ever heard, and it was horrible. It didn't fit the scene. There'd be like a bike chase, and it'd be like, why don't you go get some flamenco guitar? And I'm not even kidding. If you watch it, it's my favorite show that came out besides Walking Dead. What up, dog? That's my boy. He's getting in. Okay.
Johnny
kids.
the Animal, man.
So, anyway, back on track. A couple other albums. Seether, I really dug them. I've seen that guy do covers of. Man, can you take him? He's got to go. The other one, the lead singer for Seether has done songs by Nirvana. And if you want to YouTube that, shut your eyes and listen to that dude cover anything by Nirvana, you'll think you're hearing Kurt Cobain sing it. That's how good he is in
Really?
doing that. Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that
Oh,
out.
dude, the first time I heard it, he gave me chills.
Really?
Because that's
Holy
what got me
shit.
playing guitar. Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. If it wasn't for that band, I wouldn't even picked up a guitar.
Oh, man.
Never. Because when we came back from Woodstock, I had my drummer that played drums, and he could write music, and I never had played much guitar. And that was right around the time, right before then, he passed away. And I was like, well, since my idol's done, and he played music that I could hear and probably ascertain, I was like, all these other hair-ass guys on MTV, you can't shred like that. I knew I couldn't do that. So I got inspired and went and got a guitar, And then ever since then, that was it. But Seether, Isolate and Meditate, awesome album. Nothing More, another one. They got a hit, Mr. MTV. That's awesome. There's another hit on that song, too. And let's go to Dave Grohl, man. This guy, when he came out with the first album after Nirvana, honestly, I didn't like it. He won me over, though. The reason why I didn't like it is because, damn it, Dave is so clean. He can sing so perfect pitch. It's perfect every time. It's poppy, even though he comes from a punk background. And it wasn't punk enough or dirty enough for me. It was too perfect. So, but after a long time, seeing how much Dave does for music, like his Sound City movie he just put out with Tom Petty.
That series, yeah.
Fleetwood
That was
Mac is in it. Tom Petty, Pat Smear, Chris Novoselic, Paul McCartney played with them on a song, which was, Kurt's idol. So when them being able to do that, that meant a lot, full circle. and when he put out the film, he actually bought the soundboard to the studio in California that had to go out of business because all the bands that recorded on that board, which is an analog board, had to go out of business. Cost $75,000.
We got a phone call. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Here you go.
Oh.
Let me hook you up.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you went away. Here you go. Let's put this on speaker. This is one of the bitches that didn't show up. We're going to get back to what we're doing. All right, hold on now. Hello? Welcome! What are you doing?
You know, trying to collect.
Where are you at, man?
I don't think come through on my money.
Well, it ain't all about money. Sometimes you got to be here for the show, bro.
Yeah, I know, but I need a gas money to get there for the show, bro.
Dude, just whore yourself out. Your journey humps a lot.
I know.
Well,
I'm trying to make it there. I got a quarter tank of gas. I'm trying to make it up there.
I mean, all you had to
Burns
do,
is going to have money for me first thing tomorrow morning.
all you had to do is like kind of whore it out a little bit. You'd have been here by now.
I wish it was that easy, man. Not everybody wants the golden penis.
Oh, they love you, bro.
I know.
I mean, I've seen
I
it.
should have spent more time trying to do that than actually getting money.
I mean, those tight pants you wear, I know what you're packing.
Yeah, you know about 2 inches of what I'm packing.
I know.
So you not coming out then?
You know the Dollar Tree real quick?
What do you say?
What?
I got on my head that one.
Oh, you're heading this way?
Better hurry.
You're gone.
We're almost done recording.
Yeah.
All right, peace out. All right, man, take it upstairs. Take your brother with you. We gotta get back to work. Serious shit going on. All right. So anyway, back to Dave Grohl. He and Steve Albini, when they recorded with Steve Albini, the producer that recorded, I hate to say it, but man, I think Bush loved Nirvana because when they came out with 16 Stone, they sounded just like Nirvana. And of course, they went and recorded with Albini. So did the Breeders. So did Sonic Youth. So did Rage Against the Machine. All those other bands. So, and there's a reason for it because Steve Albini is a god. But anyway, Dave's perfectness, dude, bothered me so bad. But with him actually proving his damn talents over and over again, I can't ignore it. I do not own a Foo Fighters album, but I respect the man, and he's done a shit ton for rock and roll, man. A ton. And for that, I'm going to plug one more thing. May 4th, there's something called A Heck of a Montage that's coming out about Nirvana and Kurt Cobain. It's on HBO, and I think it's going to be awesome. There's going to be some other kind of coupled release with it of unheard tracks from Kurt besides the last one we got a while ago. So it should be really cool, man. And what else is more cooler than having Nirvana in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which they are there. Even Kiss is not there yet, people. They don't like it. Genie Boy don't like it. So, Black Label Society, I kind of don't like the way he sings and all the blues junk he's got. But come on, man. He's Zakk Wylde. So his other one's Catacombs of the Black Vatican, which is sick. 6 a.m. I like it a lot, man. Modern Vintage. It's a really good song. It's a good album. They got good songs on there. Pretty Reckless. Going to Hell. Awesome. She's hot and she
Oh
can
my
sing.
God.
So
I never thought that I would want to get with a Who. Never.
do you want to be the star
I
of Belly and
feel
Speech?
dirty for even saying that.
You want to do a Who?
That Who.
That Who is a Who.
Cindy Lou.
Cindy Lou Who.
If you don't know, the lead singer of Pretty Reckless is Cindy Lou Who. I kid you not. Look it
True.
up. IMDb that shit. Yeah. Cindy Lou Who. Pretty Reckless.
So another album I found that just kind of by accident because I love stuff like that. Avatar: The Apocalypse. Sick riffs. Awesome band.
I'm going to check that one out.
Awesome. I didn't talk about Mushroom Head either. I like them as well. I got a couple left here.
I haven't really gotten into Mushroom Head since their first album. The one that got them big.
Yeah, I only like a couple tracks too. I don't like a lot of them. And then Down, the EP, part
Down?
2. Down.
Oh, that's that old school stuff I used to listen to.
Then there's another band new I'm not familiar with, but I heard them and I checked them out on YouTube. Killer Be Killed. Pretty awesome riffs, good vocals, solid stuff to check out. Deftones Crosses is the newest album out, which is really good. A lot of melodic structure, a lot of textures, and that's what you know that band for. There's a lot of layers, which is different for just a rock band. Normally you get the layers with people that are nerds like Albini and Trent Reznor, because there's a lot of layers with extra tracking that they do for all the drums, the sequencers, and all the triggers, and everything that they have. That's complicated with Trent Reznor's music, but most rock bands don't do that, and Deftones is one of them. So that's why they got a really thick, heavy sound. A lot of double-up guitars.
Cold Chamber.
Cold Chamber, saw him with Megadeth. Two of my favorite albums, Fiend and Chamber Music. And now his name's, Des Favre? Is that
Des Favre.
Des Favre. Yeah, that's his name. He's in Devil Driver. He's got a couple records out under Devil Driver. And if you like Cold Chamber, Devil Driver's even heavier. Another one, unfortunately lost this dude, Peter Steele, A Typo Negative.
Heather's going to like this review because she's a huge Peter Steele fan.
Dude was tall as shit.
She was the girl that had the Playgirl Peter Steele.
Did she really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is hot.
Goth girl.
I mean, if I was a girl, I think Peter could have had me. He could have had me at Hello.
He could have had you at, how do you say it?
Oh.
Oh.
We should dial that number up. We got to do the it's 547. I got part of it memorized. And of course, people are going to make fun of me for this, but the Bloody Kisses and the October Rust album by Typo. Not that making fun of. That just goes with that. The next band making fun of, and I don't give a shit. Saw them for $5 with one of my buddies. We'll do a shout out, even though he ain't been talking to me. Bob Blackwood. Wherever you're at, dude, whatever, man, you should call me. So I don't know what your deal is, but I'm calling you out on your shit. We saw Green Day for $5, and that's when nobody knew what the fuck Dookie was. Nobody knew when I come around. Nobody knew Basket Case. Nobody knew shit. $5 we saw them. American Idiot, one of the best albums they've ever done.
That is probably their best album, yeah.
And it got a Broadway play, people, so you can't say shit. And they cashed out. Helmet, Betty, and Meantime.
Helmet.
There's my age again, but you kids, if you don't know who Helmet is, strap it on.
Dude,
you better go check it out.
Back in the day, man.
Helmet. My Chemical Romance.
That's a good one.
I have a theory, though. The Black Parade was written by somebody else besides that band, because that record is genius, and I love it to death, and I played it till it was over. And they haven't had anything like that since. So Google it, wiki it, figure it out, people. Let me know. I want to know. Somebody had to help write that album. Avenged Sevenfold, Nightmare. Great record. One of their best. I have the others, but Nightmare was my kid's favorite too. It's great. Five Finger Death Punch. The last album was really good. The rest of them are okay. And then honorable mention for my fucking man, Moat, who is no longer with us, and I'm going to talk about him in the next segment, and it's going to be a little bit dedicated to that boy right there. I'll tell you all about him next time. Anyway, Death Clock, Cradle of Filth are the two honorable mentions for him. Now, the Cradle of Filth, all the albums I don't have, but 2 tracks you need to listen to, and you need to not listen to it, but just YouTube it so you can watch the video with the blonde chick that's in them because she's hot. It is Temptation and Amphetamine. Very good because it's dark, but with her vocals, it's really pretty at the same time. So that juxtaposition is really cool. Lastly, I got 2 other parts and we're about wrapping this down. Blaster was supposed to be the new band that Scott Weiland's with. Scott Weiland, Velvet Revolver, will not take him back. Linkin Park's lead singer is now performing with STP in the studio, working on a new album, so he's not going to be in that band either.
I love Scott. he messed up big time, but
he's clean though. They're saying it.
Yeah.
He's not got the monkey, but I don't buy it.
It's Scott Weiland.
12.
Any guy that's going to tell me that they're purposely going to try to almost kill themselves because that's the high, there's an issue there. I'm sorry.
He's
I'm
weird.
sorry.
12 Bar Blues was a solo record he did. If you don't know about it, go get it. It's really, really good. It's awesome. Other than that, he's supposed to be in another album he did too with other bands that just got together. It's called Antichrist something, and that's a new album that he sang on but will not be touring with. I heard now they're doing a solo album. Scott's doing that now instead. So a lot of material he just put out, and he's not even going to be a part of it. So that'll be interesting. They're going to replace him as a singer. Gray Matter by Slipknot. Awesome. So heavy. It's amazing. Now, the other part I'm going to have you guys do is you can stump me. You can call in and give me a line from a movie, but it's got to be a good part of it, and I'll try to name the movie. Or you can try to stump me on some music shit, and I'll go off on it, and we'll see what happens. You guys are eventually going to win prizes, too. We're going to have, like, swag giveaways and a bunch of shit. This is legit, so you're going to want to get on the YouTube. The Facebook's coming soon, and so is the Twitter. We just got to get the producer to get on that shit. Lastly, I got one more band to talk about because this is the first release in 2015 that I know about that's either out or coming out soon. So let's talk about Marilyn Manson. Toph's got a couple things here I'll show you. A little bit of glare. I can see it from the window. You can probably see it too. There you go. You got the glare off him. This dude is Gingerfish. I met the band at Repeat the Beat and backstage at the State Theater when they were on the Antichrist Superstar Tour. That's the drummer. Right then and there, he's signing autographs. He told me Marilyn Manson's coming out of the State Theater, and I ran to the alley, and I had that shitty-ass camera. You had to click twice. Once to open it to turn it on, and I missed the photo. The photo was actually of Marilyn Manson. Well, actually, he was live walking out of the alley, and the photo I missed was two security guards, one on each side of him, with blood raining down his chest with no shirt on because he'd cut himself with a beer bottle, and I didn't get the photo that would have been worth quite a bit. So there's some evidence of me getting to see Marilyn Manson, and I got a couple others too. Toph's got the stuff, the proof here, the legitimate.
This one's a smoking gun.
Smoking gun right here.
Just to let you know, I freaked the fuck out when I first saw this. I couldn't believe it because knowing Ed and what he looks like. When I seen this kid,
this is Ed now.
Yeah, let me just show you, and you guys can see. Let me see if you guys can pick out Ed in this picture. There we go. Ed's in the back, in the center, right behind Twiggy. And then to Twiggy's left, or actually his right, on the left side of your screen, you'll see Marilyn Manson's just sitting there chilling. And look, there's Ed.
Right there.
There's Ed.
He's got Madonna Wayne Gacy.
Yep, right there. Madonna's right there.
And their old guitar player is right here, blocked by these two girls, which share the same birthday as me. They're named Kim and Kelly. We talked to them while we were in line. And Daisy is right there, who's no longer with the band. Zemzem's no longer with the band. I don't think anybody's with the band anymore.
Marilyn, well, I think, no, not even Twiggy. Twiggy's not even with the band anymore.
Twiggy went on with a Perfect Circle, and now he's doing some other jams.
Speaking of Perfect Circle.
You got one more.
Oh, yeah, then I'll tell you my Perfect Circle story. Here we go. Hold on.
There's the Antichrist Superstar. That's the thing that brought me and my wife together too. It was over a Manson poster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She came to the CD store. I ran and wanted a poster. I thought I met her. That's for another story. There it is, people. Met Manson numerous times. And then I'll show you why in the next segment why I'm allowed to talk to you about these records and what I know about.
Yeah.
What you got, Toby?
Oh yeah. Speaking of Perfect Circle, one of the best. I've been to two events that I can honestly say, like, live, these people are better than they are in the recording. Anything with Maynard in it, I don't know what it is. I've seen Tool live, and I've seen Perfect Circle live. And both times, way better than the album. way better than the album. And it's hard for some bands to really come over that step and actually perform on stage live in front of a crowd as many times as they have to. I haven't seen too many bands. Perfect Circle, of course, Tool, Kid Rock was pretty good live. And some of the older, like, you younger kids won't even know. Blue Oyster Cult, Steppenwolf. I got to meet those guys working with my dad. They were cool as hell. And the one thing about Blue Oyster Cult, they're the shortest people I've ever met that are musicians. I kid you not. They're like 5'2", 5'3".
Nice.
I thought I was watching a whole bunch of Oompa Loompas get out of the van, coming down to the stage area over South Haven, Blueberry Festival. My dad's like, oh my God, is that... Oh my God. I was like, what? He goes, look how fucking short they are. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, that's my story.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, another thing, you guys, too, I'll throw out some shit you probably haven't even heard of, just so you get a chance to check it out. One other band that's kind of industrial, I played in one of the bands like that, Electric Health Fire Club, Dr. Satan, that's that album. It's pretty unique, very cool to check it out. It's different. Another one is, it's Kent. It's called Kent. But you want to get the album not from Switzerland. You want the one with English. And it's just called Kent. I don't remember what else is on it, but they're a pretty cool band from Switzerland. And I'll name some more next time that you don't even know about, I bet. So check out the Melvins, too. Stoner Witch.
Dude, Melvins are always a throwback, man.
That's another one.
Melvins was the actual first band I ever saw live, too, before
What?
Tool. That was the first band I ever saw
Who
live.
was with them?
It was Melvins. I can't remember who the second band was, and then there was Tool. But yeah, Melvins came right out on stage. And I was like, oh my God, this dude's got a big-ass wig. Oh my God, this dude's got a big-ass 10-gallon cowboy hat.
Buzz.
Oh, dude. I was like, I wasn't ready for that. That was fun, though. My first mosh pit. Melvins and Tool.
The Melvins also inspired Kurt Cobain from Seattle, too.
Yeah.
Seattle band.
And the
Mudhoney.
Melvins also inspired Phil Anselmo from Down, Pantera, that whole scene down there in, like, Louisiana. They were a huge impact on that, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
There was a Vice documentary about that down South Louisiana rock feel with, like, Pantera and some of the other bands, and how some of that dark metal sound just kind of came from Louisiana.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, check that out. It's on Vice on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out, go to Vice on YouTube.
Vice?
Check it out, Vice, V-I-C-E. They got a lot of good stuff, especially music stuff. And fuck you, Johnny, and fuck you, Beaner, for deciding you're not going to fucking come by today. We're ready to rock this shit.
We went too deep for them, dude. They wouldn't have been able to hold their shit together.
They would have probably walked off camera.
Yeah,
like,
this is too serious.
We're going to call this just the Zero Dark 30 podcast then.
Right.
Because obviously, we're in the dark.
Yeah.
Talking about elephants in the room and shit.
Covert ops and shit.
Covert, black ops. Go, bitch! Go! We're out. Later.